Hey everybody, welcome to day 356 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full-time reseller supporting her family. It is Friday, May 30th, 2025, and welcome into my world. Here we go. Um, we met our sales goal today, or we will meet it when the rest of this stuff is rung up, and that's out of my hands at this point. So that's great. Shaping up to be a good week. Hopefully chipping away at some of those, lower weeks I had while I was away, and everything is looking good. I am all reset to zero, and true story here. I was gonna come on here and I noticed there was still a lint roller on my desk. So I was like, yeah, it's close enough. And then I was like, no, get up, put it away. All right. So I just did that. Sometimes we have to kind of force ourselves to do these little things. And I realize you're not all coming on and doing a daily vlog and saying you did something, but think of it as if you are. Think of it as I'm coming and I'm going to ask you, did you really reset to zero? All right. Good day here. Just had my head down, working for most of the day. Got really frustrated at about like quarter after two. Not frustrated with the business, just frustrated with some things. And went outside, walked, beautiful sunny day. Totally cleared my head, and then got back to work. Yeah, so a lot of good things happening. Just sometimes it's hard to work on a sunny day, or when you find yourself getting frustrated, to be like, all right, take a break. Take a break. Just all right. And that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about blurred lines. And I kind of came to this in a circuitous kind of way. It should have been obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me previously. So I was listening to a Mel Robbins podcast this morning about women's health, and she had, I think, an OB on, and she was talking about like a recent book she wrote, and hormones and things like that. But when she got to the part where she was talking about mental health and physical health and the combination, they don't, exist in, separate silos, right? They are very much intertwined. I kind of just had this moment where I was like, I've been hearing this recurring theme on a lot of things I read and a lot of things I listen to. This recurring theme of like, physical health and mental health are very like closely tied together. There's not, for years and years and years, they're treated as if they existed in silos, right? Like you have your mental health, you have what's going on in your head, and then you have your physical health, what's going on in your body. And really the two, current research is trending toward, they're really, really tied together. And they work, and they're kind of, I don't know if codependent is the right word, but you can't really treat one without treating the other. You can't consider one without considering the other. They're just very intimately tied together. So all right, so listening to that, I'm like, yeah, that's totally, that totally makes sense. Very fascinated with the research and stuff like that. I'm not going to be talking about that. However, I was thinking about all the ways that you know we've blurred lines, right? And let's see, like I said, this is very circuitous how I got here. And I thought about, different ways that we've done that, and how helpful it has been in coming from, always working in, before I had the consignment shop, always working in a corporate environment, and that kind of thing is encouraged, right? Like your professional work person, that is who you are when you're at work, and then you go home and you're another person. You're yourself, you're your whatever, you're a wife, a mom, homeowner, whatever the case may be. And those exist like so separately, and that was just like so ingrained, I think, in most of our heads. Like you keep everything separate. When you have your own business, all of a sudden those lines start to get blurred between, professional. When you come on YouTube and do a daily vlog about your life and your business, it's really obvious how blurred those lines can be, because these things are so intertwined. And I think by treating them as separate entities, we're really doing ourselves a disservice, right? If we're unhappy at home and we're not putting, forth our best self, do you think we're going to go into work and put forth our best self? I think not. Um, and one of the pieces of research that I've talked about before had to do with focus, right? And being where your feet are. If you are, if you think you can, the research disproves this. So if you think you can be focused while you were at home, or let's say while you're at work, and go home and you're unfocused, if you improve one, you improve the other. That is how it works. If you are a focused person, you can be more focused. If you work on your focus, you can be more focused at work and also carry that into the home and into your other life. Yeah. So there is not really a strong difference. Like, who you are is who you are. So you improve one and you improve the other. And my motto of last year was work harder on yourself, or work harder on myself than I do on the business. And that's also a blurred line, right? Like, that's why I said this should have been like totally obvious. If I worked harder on myself, of course my business was going to improve. Of course things were going to get better. And that's a blurred line. That is not, the dichotomy we're used to: work, home. And it's kind of cool, right? Like, these things are all tied together. And I think separating them, or thinking about, improving yourself so you can improve your business, or improving your business so you can improve yourself, like, these things are so well tied together. And I think we need to blur more lines. I think we definitely need to blur more lines. We've done it in our mastermind, in our Patreon group. We have, so weekly, when we meet with our weekly group, we talk about like our business priority. Like, we have one priority. We talk about other things, but basically we have one priority for the week. And we were talking about business and this, and over time we realized that, personal things kept coming up, health things kept coming up, right? Like, if somebody was sick or was dealing with something or was having a health struggle, it was impacting their business. Like, they weren't existing totally separately. So what we did was we add a health priority, right? So you have your health priority and then you have your business priority. And blurring that line has been incredible. And you can see, over time, how these things are tied together. Oh yeah, you know what, you started taking, walks during the day. You started taking 10-minute breaks and stretch it, whatever your goal is. You started drinking more water, whatever your health thing is. And you can see the difference in how that improves attitude and improves business. And everybody's working harder on themselves than they are in their business. And the improvements are just shocking. So think about blurring some lines. Maybe don't think about not living in the silo. Like, come out of the silo and explore these other things. Find, the right people and the right environment, and really consider that. And, same to do with mental and physical health. Don't think of them as separate entities. Yeah. All right. So that's what I have. I feel like there was more I had on this, but this thought was just like mulling around in my head all day. And thanks, Mel Robbins, again, for making that just stand out to me about how important it is to blur lines. And you know what? It's kind of fun, because you don't have to be two separate people, or three separate people, or four separate people. You can always be the same person. You can always be focused. You can always be fun. You can always be whoever you are when you blur those lines, and you don't have to really separate yourself. It's pretty flipping cool. All right. I hope that wasn't too much for a Friday afternoon. But think about it as you go into your weekend, and everybody have a great one. I will see you on day 357 of Reseller Reflections. Night, night.